Scott. How are you? And our topic today is teams and how you build them and how you manage them. And we could have about 3 hours worth of time on this, but ultimately, you build teams everywhere now, not just overseas, but even in the United States, Europe. It doesn't matter, virtually, which is an impressive task. But then, okay, here's a team. Let's go. Not easy, right? There's a process to scale a team and manage a team.
Oh, absolutely. There's a process to all of that. And, it takes a little bit of time to make sure that you're doing things in the right way and that you're making things be the right fit. But it's all about what the client needs, right? So the first thing that we start when we're going to look at building a team for somebody is what are they really looking for? The concept of begin with the end in mind, right? What do they really want to accomplish? What's the point of the team? And how do we then construct a roadmap that's going to get them from where they're at today to the end result of the team that they really need to produce the results that they're trying to accomplish? Once we understand where they're trying to go, it's not really plug and play, but it becomes fairly simple because we understand the outcome. Then we begin to reverse engineer to make sure that we get them there.
Yeah, very, very important for sure. And so let's talk about how do you do it? If you're a business owner and you want to build a team, what's the first step?
So the first step is having a conversation with a guy like me,
There you
right?
go.
So I'm going to be able to come in and make an assessment. We start with an audit to see where somebody's at and what they really want to accomplish. And then we understand based on that audit, the skill sets that they're looking for and what exactly they might need to have happen. And then we go to work with trying to find the right resources. We try to do it in a place that is cost effective for them. That could be somebody who is here in the US. It could be somebody that's offshore, right? So as I have been not very shy and quiet about telling people I'm an India specialist, meaning that most of my time with building offshore teams has been in India. But Neil, I've got connections around the United States. I've got connections in Europe and Eastern Europe. I've got connections in Central and South America. I've got connections in Africa, all around Asia. If you want a team, there's no place in the world that we can't make that happen. And so then we find the most cost effective place and team that is going to work for your needs to make sure that you're getting what you're looking for.
That's huge because that's the process, the audit, putting things together, and then saying, what are the needs? What are you looking for now? If you might have if you're a human resource company, I need people who are going to be recruiters. If you're a law firm, you might need legal assistants. You just have to basically look at what your need and you'll help fill it.
Right. And, being so it also helps that I am connected with recruitment experts because I'm able to tap into those specialists when I need them. And at the same time, because of my connections around the world, I'm able to throw together a team pretty quickly and again in a pretty cost-effective manner. And I had a conversation yesterday with somebody and they pointed this out. People go to outsource work to save money. That's why they go. They're not usually trying to streamline, they're not usually trying to improve processes. And I talk about all of those things in conversations I have, in sales pitches on my website. But the truth is that people are going there because they want to save money. So we have to come in recognizing that somebody's going to look for cost savings first. So we have to deliver on the cost savings, but you can't skimp on quality. You can't skimp on quality, right? It's important. And if you're going to save money on something, it's great. That's what you're trying to do. But if you're not going to get the result from the money that you're going to save, then you're going to burn money and waste money. So it's important that when you come in and we set you up with a cost-effective, affordable team, that they're the best team that you can buy for the cost that you're willing to pay.
That's key. And once that's identified, then it's you are holding their hand through the hiring process, right?
Oh, yeah, from beginning, Neil, I hold their hand from beginning to end. And my whole process is, I don't like to get in people's way. It's not my job as a consultant to come in and say, you're going to do things the way that I say to do them, and that's the only way we're going to do them. I consult. I advise, I counsel. Ultimately, it's the client's business. And when I tell you that this is my suggestion, this is the way you need to do them, it's because it's the way you probably should do them. But ultimately, it's your business. So I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to hear what your goals are. We're going to build the team around that. And then I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to hold the team's hand. And we're going to work through beginning to end how the process is. We're going to make sure the processes are clear, that they understand exactly what's expected of them, that we put KPIs in place so that they know what they're shooting for, and we can hit every one of those targets. And if we're not, then we know why we're not because we have the numbers to show what the performance has been. Then we can drill down deeper to try to figure out exactly what's going on. And we do that in order to make the team successful, not only for them, but especially for you as the client.
All right. I don't want to start singing, I want to hold your hand. I want to hold your hand, but that's what you want to do, Scott, is
I
hold their
think you
hand.
do want to sing that
No,
one. I
no.
think
So
you
now
do.
once you hire the team, that's just the beginning. You're now going to make sure the team you put in place is working correctly with the company. Do you need to weed anyone out? What are the issues? And you're building all that together versus having to do it all yourself. The DIY factor of scaling is not a fun thing.
No, it's really not. And you really need somebody that can be there with you, in lockstep with you, on the same page with you, understanding your goals and working with you to make sure that they happen. So I do that by helping them to manage the process and the team, at least for a while. Now, I can, step in and I can manage something long term if that's something that somebody really needs. But ultimately, as a consultant, my recommendation is that you own it, you manage it. We get you to the point that you are able to manage that team. And a lot of people will come in thinking, oh, I've got this, no problem. I can just manage it. I'll just do what I do. Well, there's also cultural competency because when you're working with a team that is outside your organization, they have an organization and a culture that they are then trying to fit inside your company culture, and you're trying to push your company culture inside of theirs. So we have to be able to blend those. And it's even more complicated when you're trying to do that in an offshore location. And when you do that offshore, it's important that you're aware of cultural norms and standards and that you can kind of meet them where they're at because they will bend over backward to meet you where you're at. So that give and take, or give and give really comes together nicely. And then my role as, the person that's going to help you manage what we're building is to help you feel comfortable and confident with all of the information you need to be able to manage that team. And then I just kind of take a step back and I let you do your thing. But then I pop in now and again. Hey, how's it going? Great, awesome. Let's, chat about it. But I also check with the offshore team or with the other team if it's wherever they're at. And I say, hey, how's it going from your perspective? And if either one of you are like, it
All
really
right.
could be, then I jump in and I'm like, all right, let's start bridging some gaps and trying to figure out what we need to fix because it needs to work effectively and it needs to work for both ends. Otherwise, it will never be what it could be.
All right. The best place to go is akataconsulting.com. Appreciate it so much, sir. Thanks again, Scott.